We have two objects. We have numerator and we have denominator. It's very important because that's one of the easiest problems. If they change number, sometimes number pretty tricky, this matrix always help you to win. So we have two objects. And now let's write, help you to structurize your problem. What is given? Given. Value of original fraction. This original fraction. Is 2/3. But everywhere in the test, when you have ratio, you must use scaling factor. Scaling factor, maybe it's not 2/3, maybe it's 20/30, maybe 10/15, maybe 2 millions over 3 millions. We don't know. This is just ratio. When you have ratio without thinking, you have to use scaling factor. If I multiply numerator denominator by x, scaling factor, I get my original fraction. Always. For instance, number of boys to girls in my group, 2/3. Not necessarily I have 2 boys and 3 girls. Maybe I have 20 girls, 20 boys and 30 girls. Or small Chinese school, we have 2 million boys and 3 million girls. Who knows? Scaling factor. Now I use another. Don't write too much here because it's not creative writing. The second I would write if. If 1 is subtracted from the numerator, it will be 2x minus 1. And added to the denominator, it will be 3x plus 1. This is my if. The new value is 1/2. Very slowly. Who understand 100% up to this point, everything? Keep in mind, in the test, you have 1 minute 30. You can't have time for creativity. Just 1, 2, 3, like wrestling. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Who has question? Ask me a question.
I have a question. How did you get 3x plus 1 equals to 2?
It's not equals.
Yeah, sorry, it's given. Sorry, yeah.
It's given. It's 1/2. You see, I made even bold this 1/2 new value, and this is new fraction. Did I answer your question, Sophie?
Yes.
Okay. What is given? This fraction. Let me use different color. I just emphasize what is given. New fraction. This fraction actually equals to this one, because this is value of this new fraction. If you have this, what are you supposed to do? Use cross multiplication. 2x plus 2x minus 1 times 2 equals 3x plus 1 times 1. And keep in mind, this is a question what they ask you about. This is a question. Always put in oval what they ask you to find. And you get simple equation. Why? Because this representation of new value in variables, And this is value of this fraction. Who understand up to this step everything? Brennan also participate. I need feedback. Either ask me questions or raise hand with everybody. Good. Excellent. Good, good. Keep it.
Dr. Farber?
Yes.
So X represents the original value, right?
No. X represents scaling factor. For instance, you have a map of Brooklyn. In reality, 1 centimeter in this map represent 5 miles in reality, pretend. So scaling factor, you have to multiply this one by some number where you get 5 miles. Scaling factor. You have picture of elephant and real elephant. How many times you have to multiply dimension of his trunk to get real one? Scaling factor. X is a scaling factor. I explain again why. So, scaling factor. Why? Because if you said, look at this, fraction is 2 to 3. How many ratio we can have 2 to 3? Value for this ratio. Infinite set, for instance, we can have 4 over 6, or 10 over 15, or 20 over 30, etc., etc. So this is a result of simplification of this original fraction. And by simplify result, Elizabeth, you're supposed to find original fraction, one of them, for instance. So
yeah, I understand. So this is a scaling question. You're supposed to find the
scaling fact. No, you have to find original fraction. I see.
Oh, I see.
Find the original fraction. If I knew scaling factor, I multiply this fraction by scaling factor, I get original fraction. Better?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Farber.
No problem. Now, distributive. 4x minus 2 equals 3x plus 1.
Dr. Farber,
Yes.
I have a question. I know you got the 2x minus 1 and the 3x plus 1, but I don't understand how you got the times 2.
Cross multiplication. How you use cross? This times this equals to this times this. Cross.
So what was the point of writing the first column then, the 2x fraction?
Because this is your question, this is your target.
Oh, okay.
Be patient, couple minutes, you will see how it works, okay? This is your target. Always keep your target. When you go home, you look in which direction you're supposed to go. This is your target.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
Well, welcome. Minus 3x plus 2 and plus 2. Solve equation. 4x minus 3x is x. Cancel out, equals to 3. 3 is not the answer. 3 is scaling factor. Grab the 3, plug in over there. The answer would be 2 times 3 divided by 3 times 3. And you get 6 over 9. So my fraction is 6 over 9. So far, so good, students.
I have another question. Let's say this was on like a test or something, and there was a choice 6 over 9 and 2 over 3. Which one would you pick?
Only 6 over 9.
Okay.
2 over 3, 7th graders, right? 7th graders. They can give you, I'll give you an example. They can give you a question where you're supposed to point to finger to this answer. Make sense for you?
Oh, okay.
It's like one student when he was asked to find x in triangle. Remember this? Find this x. This is 3, this is 4, and he saw like this. Here it is. He found x. This is a joke, but real situation. You have to find value of this. Okay.
I get it. Thank you.
Welcome. More questions, students?
I have a question.
Yes.
Why did you cross multiply? I'm confused.
Because this is proportion. Proportion. What is proportion? Proportion. Okay. What is ratio? Ratio is comparison to number by division. This is ratio. What is proportion? Proportion is equality of two ratios. This is one ratio. This is another ratio. And this equality of two ratios, we have proportion. In proportion, we have property. Product of mean equal product of extreme. But you briefly use property cross multiplication always. You just
Okay.
did the test, right? It's proportion cross multiplication.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. More questions? So some you solve correct, but too long, students. Keep in mind. So you stop watch and practice. Ask me more questions because this would be a homework, one of part of the homework, and rest problem solved exactly the same way. Okay, no questions? Raise your hand who really understand this concept, 100%, 100. What about Yuri, Kevin? Okay, Maxim. When I ask you soon, you know rules. 2 seconds you have to raise hand. 2, not 3 seconds. Anwar. Okay. And don't write too much. If is enough. If enough. You know this story? If. Do you know what does it mean? Laconic phrase. Who knows what is laconic phrase? Put your hands down, everybody. Down. Benjamin, down. Nathan, down. Maybe somebody watch a movie, I believe 300 Spartans. Have you seen this movie? No? In ancient Greek was Sparta. In Sparta, some area in ancient Greek, people were very strong. They were soldiers. And they had some area, name of this area was Laconia. In this area, people did homework, exercise, very strong, and they do not speak too much, do not talk too much. And they invented a way of express themselves, laconic phrases. I give example. One time this city, Laconia, was surrounded by, I believe, King Philip, ancient Greek, and amount of his soldiers was 100 times more than people in this Laconia. And he sent a big papyrus, big paper, where written, if you don't give up, we will destroy a city, blah, 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 all this stuff. Big page. And these people from Laconia wrote him a response. When he opened this, it was written, if. Great story, you can Google this, a real story. If. Try. They're very confident, very strong, said, if. That's I like it here, if. Short. It give you hint, mnemonic rule not to forget this, if. Instead of writing this, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you don't have any questions, let me go through your homework. Okay, figure out on Google what is laconic phrases from history.